Hey guys, I'm Ashley with Sold by Ashley and Associates. Today we are going to talk about the home buying process. What are the steps and how to watch out for any surprises that might come up on you. The very first step in the home buying process is to pick a real estate agent. Obviously, we would love to help you with us here at Sold by Ashley and Associates. We have a great team, and we have agents that can, myself included, guide you through the process. The next step to the process is to get pre-qualified and speak with a lender, tell them your situation and how much you can put down and things like that. And they can guide you on the steps of that process and help you pick out how much home you can afford. They can help you with how much your payment will be and things like that. So you will know that up front. So you don't go out and fall in love with $1 million home and not be able to afford it, because so many people want to start looking first, but really the first step is to talk with a lender to see how much you can afford and what the payment will be. Okay, so the next step, once you have picked out your real estate agent with Sold by Ashley and Associates, and you have picked out your lender, the third step would then be you get to start looking at homes online. Your agent will probably set you up on a drip. What that means is that when something new hits the market, it'll come straight to your email. So you stay in the know. That way you see it right when it happens, and you don't miss it before it goes under contract. So that would be the next step. Start looking for homes. You will probably be searching on Realtor or Zillow. Those are the two most popular. When you're searching on there, put in your criteria. And when you see something, you need to let your agent know immediately, because things are selling so quickly that if you don't let them know immediately and get out there very quickly, you might miss it. So it's very important that you stay on top of it every day. Once you have found some homes that you love, we always recommend looking at the disclosures next. That way, if there's something on there that totally throws you off and you're like, that's a deal breaker, then you haven't driven to that home, looked at it, fallen in love with it, and then found out, oh, I can't have my chickens. I really want my chickens. So we always recommend looking at the disclosures first. That way, if there's something that's a deal breaker, before you go, and there's no reason for you to even go there. So look at the disclosures, check the seller's property disclosure and the community association disclosure as well, just to make sure that nothing's on there that's funky for you. After you look at the disclosures and approve of those and it looks good to you, that's when you need to get your agent to get you out there ASAP. Let them know that you love the home and you want to see it, and then set up an appointment. The agent will reach out to the other agent and coordinate a time that works best for the seller. Keep in mind that you're not able to always go immediately. These people live in their homes and they have families too. So try to be a little bit understanding if they ask you to be a little flexible on the time that you can go. And if you fall in love with it and it's the right one, make an offer. The one thing that I do say is don't look at 5 homes in one day, because by the time you get home, you're going to start getting kitchens confused and floor plans confused. So I say keep it to 2 to 3 max in one day, because that's really all that our brain can hold without starting to get them confused. Once you find the one that you fall in love with and you want to make an offer, get your agent to submit the offer and let them guide you on what to offer, because it depends on the market and where we're at. Sometimes in this market, they are selling for 20 or 30,000 over. And in order to even compete, you're going to have to be up there on just about any home. And in some other markets, you may want to go just under, or you can get some closing costs. It depends on where it's at and how many offers they have. So certainly listen to your agent. They do this every day for a living, and they know and can guide you on what to offer. Okay, what makes an offer competitive, you may ask? We will teach you that in our next video. There are so many things that you can do in an offer, but shorter contingencies is really the great thing. Most of us can't walk in and say, hey, I'd like to give you $600,000 in cash for this home right now, and I'll close in a week. the closer to those contingencies that you can get, the better. If you can shorten your due diligence and get a quick inspector, I have inspectors that can be out there in 2 days. So normally a due diligence, some people are asking for 7 days. You really only need a few days for that. 3 to 5 is plenty, especially in this market. That just helps your offer stand out when other people are doing longer contingencies. So your due diligence and then your appraisals and your financing, we have lenders that can close very quickly. So make sure you ask your agent about those things. What happens when your offer is accepted? First, we celebrate. Whoop, whoop. So that's the exciting part. This is when it all really begins. This is kind of when you're getting close to the home run. So the next thing we would do is go into due diligence. While we're in due diligence, if it's 3 days or 5 days, remember we just talked about that, we would want to set up a home inspection. We always recommend a home inspection. It's very important because if there's something that you don't know about in the home, it could be very costly in the future. And some people stress that it's $500 or $400 or $700 or whatever it is, wherever you are. But it's still the most important thing that you're doing while in due diligence, because if you don't inspect that, it could really cost you a lot of money in the long run. And there could be some major foundation or mold issues with your home. And if you don't have someone go in there to look for those things, you may never know until it's a bigger problem. So always get a home inspector. Once you get your inspection back from your inspector, he will send you a detailed report, and your realtor will advise you on what are normal things and what is a big deal. During this process, don't use it as something to go crazy on, but certainly think of the things that should be fixed before you move in. When you're doing that, then your realtor will recommend to write an amendment if there's something major that needs to be done, and the seller will get it done. Sometimes they will forego doing all of the work and give you a credit towards your closing costs for you to get it all done. And really, it's up to you. We like the credit. That way we can, who is involved in the work, and you have all the records and you know exactly what was done. But really, that's something that you and your realtor need to talk about together to figure out the best path for you. The next thing that comes up typically is your financing contingency. So if you did 7 days or 14 days or 21 or whatever you did in your contingency, that is how long you have for your financing to be fully secure. During that time, if something were to happen and your lender could not give you the loan, you would be able to get out of the contract with a note from the lender saying that they could not approve you. Now, that is worst case scenario. We do not want to go down that road. So the lenders that we recommend, we try to get everything done up front so that there are no surprises like that. But it does happen. So if something crazy happens, that is what that contingency is. That's your financing contingency. The next one is your appraisal contingency. With a lender, you typically have an appraisal. Unless you're putting a ton of money down, then you typically will have an appraisal. What the appraisal is when they come out, take a look at the home, and give you an appraisal value. Whatever your contract price is, if it does not match, whatever you have in your contract for the appraisal will be negotiated here. Okay, so let me give you an example here of an appraisal not coming in correctly. So let's say that you make an offer on a home and you say, I would like to offer $525. And then the appraisal comes back and it actually appraised at $515. Now what? Does the seller have to accept $515? Do you have to pay the extra $525? What happens? The fact is, neither of those have to happen. It really has to be communication and maybe a little bit of bending on both sides. you better be packing because it's almost closing day. But right before closing day, you will have a walkthrough. And you will walk through and make sure that anything that was on your amendment was done. You will make sure that the house looks good. There are no crazy holes in the wall. They didn't rip up the carpet and take the blinds that they left on the disclosure. They didn't take the stove that they said was staying, things like that. That's what you're looking for when you do your walkthrough. Now, here is where people get confused. There may be a small nick on the wall. Look past it. There may be a little bit of dirt. Look past it. You might have to get it cleaned. Now, we are supposed to leave our homes when we sell our homes very clean for the next person because that is the courtesy that you would want as well. So now it's closing day. So typically your realtor will reach out and give you the details of the attorney. You will show up at closing. You will sign a bunch of things. Typically closing will take about an hour. Normally it's not a whole lot more than that. If the buyer is a little bit early, it could take a lot less time. The seller's portion is a lot shorter. So the buyer is really the key there. If you made it through this video, I hope you feel more at ease about your process and you have a little bit more knowledge going in. It can be very exciting if you're just a little bit prepared. So happy hunting for a home. Also, if you are looking for a real estate agent, please reach out to Sold by Ashley & Associates. We would love to help you. Our number is 706-612-0322. And also subscribe to our video below and follow us on Facebook and our Instagram. It's Sold by Ashley & Associates. So thanks so much for watching and have a wonderful day.